Our objective for today, I can solve real-world problems using system of linear equations. Read together, 1, 2, 3. I can solve real-world problems using system of linear equations. Now, we don't need a Fourier model because we already know what systems are, right? Linear equations, 2 or more, same variables, yes? And then we have, I gave you steps for problem solving. And then from there, we did some of these, which were the item cost type of problems. And remember yesterday's activity was very similar to that? Yes, Mr. Q? Good. And then from there, we did some more of these, item and cost. Then we did some rate problems. Remember those? Okay. From there, we did more rate problems. And then in a play sheet, I gave you guys some that involved a canoe and paddling. Yes? Then we went into mixture problems. Remember the chemist mixes and all this and that with percents and decimals? And then from there, we did some more of those. And then we did some of the digit problems. The sum of two digits on a two-digit number is equal to a so. When you reverse the digits, it gives you a different amount and so on and so forth. Remember those? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. So then we get into the following kind. Example, that's still a two-digit. Example Q. Copy this, please. It says, example Q, solve the system by graphing and another method. It says, Mr. Q challenges his class to a 400-yard race. Since Mr. Q is nice, he gives his class a head start of 50 yards. That's right. The class runs at an average rate of 3 yards per second. Mr. Q runs at an average rate of 5 yards per second. Who wins the race? Does Mr. Q catch up? At what time? Copy that, and then we're going to do this one together. Go. So let's go over this. We already read the problem. So since we have two different sets of rates, we're going to create two tables. So on the side over here, we're going to create an input-output table for the class. So I want you to label the first table, and I'm going to do that in blue. We're going to label it class and do X, Y. So let's read it. Mr. Q challenges his class to a 400-yard race. Since Mr. Q is 90, he gives his class a 50-yard head start. The class runs at an average rate of 3 yards per second. So what does the X stand for? Second, and the Y? Yards. Okay. So let's see. If we haven't started the race at 0 seconds, where are you guys at? At where? 50 yards. Why 50? Tell your neighbor, please. Bam, because you get a head start. Very good. Okay, let's move on. After 1 second, where are you guys at? 53. After 2 seconds. 56. After 3 seconds. 59. After 4 seconds. 62. And after 5 seconds. 65. We'll stop right there. Now, notice how here we're going to tie in everything that we've been doing so far for the first semester. Watch. At this point, I'm going to ask you to write an equation for this relation right here. So, where is the first place that I ask you to look at when we get to these tables? When X is what? 0. So that means they add what? 50. Add 50, okay. So then all we need is to see if that works. If not, then what's missing on the equation? Talk it over with your neighbor and see what's missing on that equation. Go. Okay. What's missing in this equation, everyone? 3 right here. So then our equation is y equals 3x plus 50. We got it? All right. So that's our equation. So let's go to the second table. Our second table is going to be for Mr. Q. X, y. We already know that x is for seconds, y is for yards. So at the beginning of the race, before we get started, where am I at? 0 after 1 second. 5 after 2 seconds. After 3 seconds. 4 seconds. And 5 seconds. 25. Okay? So we need an equation. Y equals blank, x blank. Tell your neighbor what the equation for, or my equation is. You okay? Talk it over, see what's missing there. Okay? So what's our equation for me? Y equals 5x. That's it? That is correct. Because I don't have anything from the beginning of the race. Bam. So, let me move this over a little bit. No, I'm leaving it like that. So now we're going to create a graph because they want us to graph this. So look how I'm going to graph this. Now this is something to think about. Look at it. Look up, please. Why didn't I give you, don't say it out loud, why didn't I give you a coordinate plane to graph this problem? And I'm only using the first quadrant. Think about it. Read the problem again. Think about it, why we're only using quadrant number 1. Talk it over with your neighbor, please. Let's see, Patrick. I couldn't hear you. There are no negative numbers, but in what context? What context are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Time and what are yards? Distance, right? Remember at the beginning of the year that we do not measure time or distance in negative numbers? That's why we only use the first quadrant. Okay, so copy that, please. Now let me ask you this. Look at the x-axis, or the x values here. It's a 400-yard race, and here we're barely at 5 yards, and we're still not even close to the end of the race. What shall we scale our x-axis at what? Okay, let's do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This is our x-axis, and it represents what? Seconds. Very good. 0. How about the yards? What can we scale that so that we can reach 400 pretty quick? 10, 5, 10, 20? Yeah. Okay, let's do 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. Yes, Foss?
So they're always going to be running at 3 yards per second, and you're always going to be running at 5 yards per second?
Yes.
We have a lot of fans. You don't get tired?
I don't get tired.
I'm talking about us.
Let's go. All right, here we go. All right, let's graph your the class. Let's see. Now I'm gonna go pretty fast here. Look up, please. Look up to the screen. Notice that here we went from 0 to 5, but we scale this. The very first one is 5, and then it goes up to 10. So I'm going to go straight up to the 5 right here. So at 0 seconds, where are you guys at? 50, so it's about right here. At 5 seconds, where are you guys at?
We are at
65, very good. Now, if you get lost, look up, please, to the screen. All these are x values, right? And this is your equation for students. So when it's 5, we substitute in here. 5 times 3, that's 15, plus 50, 65. What's my next value? 10. 10 times 3, that's plus 50, 80. So we are 80, so we are about right there. Next value is 15. Where are we at now? 95, so that's close to 100. At 20, where are we at? 110, so it's about right in between right there. How about 25? 25 times 3, that's 75, plus 50, that's 125. Graph your line. I'm going to do that in blue. Nice and straight like mine. Okay. Ayana, you almost done graphing? Very good. And now I'm going to graph, and label this one students. Students or class, that's fine. Now let me graph mine. At 0, I'm at 0. I haven't moved. We're barely starting the race. After 5 seconds, where am I at? 25. After 10 seconds, 50. After 15 seconds, 75. That's right. After 20 seconds, 100. After 25 seconds, 125. It's graph. All right. So look at your graph and let's guesstimate. What would be the solution right there? What would be the value of x? It looks about what? 25. And that would be how much of y? About 120 something? 125. So that's our possible solution. So before we move on, look at that point. Tell your neighbor what each of those values represent at that point and what's happening at that point. What do each of those values represent and what is happening at that point? Nice. Okay? So, who can elaborate for us, please? What's happened? What does this point represent, and what's happening at that point? Seabass. Mr. Q caught up. What does the 25 represent? And where are we at?
25 yards.
We are what? 125 yards, and that's where I catch up after 25 seconds. All right? Right. So now check this out. Look up, please. It says solve by graphing and another method. So let's solve this. Look at this. What's another way of solving this system? Substitution. So y is 5x. So here instead of y, we write what? 5x equals 3x plus 50. Subtract 3x, subtract 3x. 2x equals 50. Divide by 2. X equals 25. Did we get that over here? Yes. Then we substitute that into that second equation, or the first, doesn't matter. I'm going to use the second one. Y equals 5x. Y equals 5 times 25. Y equals 125. My solution is 25, 125. So it would be a statement. It says, who wins the race? Does Mr. Q catch up? And at what time? Who can give us a statement? Think about it. What would be a statement to answer those three questions? Chris B, go. V. Mr. Q wins the race, comma, catching up, catches up at 25 seconds at 125 yards, 10Q. We got this? Okay. All right. So, do you see the process now for problems that have two different sets of people, or two different sets of rates that you need to do an input-output table for each, graph it, and then check your work by solving it with a different method. Everybody understand? Okay. So, I want you to pair up right now with someone. And like I said, Dylan's going to go around. He's going to be recording some of your conversations. I'm going to go around answering questions for this next one. Here he goes. Write down example Super Q. Look up. Look up, look up, look up. Okay. Here we go. Before you get into pairs, here he goes. It says, Frank Wright 8th grade basketball team has been on fire. Wow, be nice. It says, the leading scorer in the game were Julio and Sergio. So, it says, as soon as Sergio got on the court, he started with 4 points. Why? Because he shot a 3-pointer and he got fouled, so he shot a free throw and he made the free throw. So not even 2 seconds had passed. They just threw him the ball. He just went like, boom, 3-pointer. He got fouled, made the free throw. That's 4 points. After that, he scored 2-pointer every minute that he was on the game. He's on fire. Julio scored a 3-point shot every minute that he was in the game. Questions. Who was the high scorer at the end of the game if the game is 4 5-minute quarters? What were their scores, and at what minute in the game did they have the same amount of points? So at this time, get into pairs. You don't have to copy the problem. I want you to set up your input-output tables and talk it over to see what the scaling for each graph would be. I'll be walking around if you need help. Thank you. Huh? Yes. Just press the red and just go around recording. Okay? Keep it rolling and I'll tell you when to stop. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Help me with Sergio's table. Hold on. Sergio, X, Y. Let's see, Sydney, what'd you get for Sergio's table? Where you start? Guys, I can't hear. Starting at 0. Okay, let's read that again. Sergio got on the court and he started with 4 points. So therefore, at 0, he has what? Because this is not in seconds, it's in minutes. A whole minute had not elapsed, but he already has 4 points, right? So after 1 minute, where is he at? 6. After 2 minutes? 3 minutes? 4 minutes, that's 12, and 5 minutes is 14, okay? Who has an equation for Sergio already? Yes, Mason. Hands if you agree, y equals 2x plus 4? That is correct. Because you're scoring 2 points every minute, and you already had 4 points. Now let me go with Julio. So Julio started with what, everyone? 0. After 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 5 minutes. Who has Julio's equation? Okay, Santi. Okay, hold on. Why not plus 5?
Because he didn't start off with,
He started off with what? 0 points. All right.
but I'm still better than him.
Be nice. Wow.
He's a good player, but I'm a great.
Wow. Be nice. Wow. Okay. All right. So you're working on your graph, and while one of them is working on your graph, the other person solve it in a different way, please. Go. Who's solving this with elimination or substitution? Okay. Julian, help me out. What do I write? Okay, what do I write? Okay, for substitution.
I'll tell you.
Okay, go.
You substitute y equals 3x into y equals 2x plus 4.
So what do I write?
So 3x equals 2x plus 4. And then subtract 2x on both sides. And then you get x equals 4. And then substitute 4 into y equals 3x. And then you should get y equals 12.
Who got 4, 12? 4, 12? Okay, guys. Before we leave, what does this point mean, Sergio?
It is the solution of.
Yes, we already know that because of the definition that it's a solution to the system. What does it mean, though? If he has it, we're done. If not, we're going to do one more.
Like, what does it mean?
Yes, what does the 4 mean? What does the 12 mean? And what happened right there?
Look at the graph, Sergio. Look at the graph. Look, right here.
That in the 4th minute, we both had the same point, and in the 5th minute, Julio beat me by 1 point.
Boom, that just happened.
Let's go!
Enjoy your home play, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Straighten up my desk, please. Thank you. Oh, by the way, home play is on page 327, 328. Have a good one. Bye.